Well, what is up, everybody? My name is Cameron. Welcome back to the channel. It has been a while, but we are finally back out here doing some fishing in Galveston Bay. And today we are at the Galveston Ferry Landing, an extremely popular flounder fishing spot during the flounder run, but it is also a great spot to catch trout, reds, and a bunch of other fish all year round. We picked up some live shrimp at the bait shop this morning, so we're gonna be tossing that out here under a popping cork, maybe doing some free lining, and also maybe throwing it on a bottom rig, and really just trying everything to see what we can get into. So y'all stick with it, stay tuned. I'm gonna show y'all exactly what we're using, and then we're gonna go ahead and get to fishing. So today we're just gonna be throwing a popping cork right here. This is what I'm gonna start with. So I've got an old beat up cork, and then we have some 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, and we're just gonna be throwing this about, I'd say that's about 3.5 to 4 feet down. Big old split shot to keep that shrimp down there so he's not sitting on the top. And then I like to use a treble hook. So anywhere from a number 6 to a number 8 treble hook works great. Let's go ahead and grab a live shrimp here. And you can see we got a lot of tiny shrimp. And a lot of people would complain about that. But what I like to think is that if this is what the bait shop has, if they have these small little shrimp, then that's what the shrimpers are obviously catching. And if that's what the shrimpers are catching, then that's what the fish are feeding on right now. So match the hatch. That's a perfect bait right there. Hooked him up through the horn. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. Right now, let's go ahead and cast that out. And then when you're using a popping cork, what I like to do, you cast it out, you let that cork get sitting straight up, and then you just gotta give it a couple hard pops. That is why it is called a popping cork. This is not a bobber, it's not a float. The whole point of this thing is to suspend your bait off the bottom, of course, but also whenever you pop it, it makes a lot of noise and it attracts the fish. So a couple hard pops, let it sit, and then pop it again maybe every 10 seconds or so. Let's see what we can get into. Well, the ferry landing was dead, so we just pulled up to spot number 2 right here. And there's a ton of bait, some great current moving in from this bridge. And I actually already caught a trout, but we walked over here, we're just looking at the water. I threw out one shrimp, and he got smoked by a nice like 18-inch trout right on the edge right here. So we threw the camera on, we're gonna grab some more shrimp and let's see what else we can catch. See, that looks like a perfect one right there. Just gonna hook that guy on up. Real lively shrimp, ready to work for us, ready to catch us some fish. And then all we're doing is just casting on the edge of this current, because what we have here is all this current running under the bridge, and it comes out and it kind of goes around like this and creates an eddy in this area, and that cork is going to stop and sit in that eddy. And a lot of times that's where those fish are, because they don't want to be sitting in the middle of the current fighting it, so they sit off to the side and they wait for all that bait to get swept into the current and then jump out and grab it. So just like that, that cork's sitting still right in the middle. Give it a couple pops, and I don't think it's going to take too long for a fish to pick it up if they are here, which with the amount of bait that is here, there's no way there's not fish feeding on them. All right, y'all, well, I just put the rod in the rod holder. I was tying up another rod so I could throw a lure, and this thing went down. Oh! Dude, I should have grabbed the net. He popped off. I mean, that's a keeper, but... Boom. Now you gotta keep it. He's close to keeper. He's probably 15, but I'm gonna let him go. Let's get released on this little guy right here. Definitely right at 15, but not worth it to keep. All right, let's hook up another shrimp here. Same as always, running that right through the horn. Kind of let it drift out to the side of that current so it gets caught in that eddy. And see if we can get us another trout here. All right, well, we just pulled up to spot number 3 here. We left the last place because the bite just died out like that. It was on, it was crazy. We were catching some fish, as y'all saw, and then threw out another bait and nobody got bit, nobody around us got bit again. So we headed out, we're at spot number 3 now. We do have a couple fish in the cooler. We're at another bridge right now. So we're gonna be casting up under there and seeing if those fish are under there hanging out in the shade. So let's grab the rod, let's tie up, and then let's get right to it. We can hear fish popping under the bridge here. So we're gonna cast this cork out and pop it and simulate those fish feeding. Let's see what happens. All right, we're gonna sling this under here. Oh yeah, I don't know if that shrimp came off or not. See if that works. And a lot of times those fish get up under these bridges for a few reasons. There's shade under there, so it keeps them cool, especially in these hot summer months when it's 100 degrees outside. And another reason is there's a bunch of structure, so a bunch of places for them to hide. And kind of going along with that same thing, because of that structure, there's good places for them to ambush bait. And this bridge acts as a funnel. We have a big area of water on this side, a big one on the other side, and everything that goes in and out has to go through this bridge, through this pinch point. So bridges, passes, anything like that, great places for fish to hang out and feed. And usually you can catch a lot. So let's hope that we can get lucky. Oh dude, I got one. Oh, I missed it. Dang, guys, I had to bend over to see the cork, and whenever I bent down here to look under the bridge, cork just wasn't even there. And there was a fish on there. Let's grab another shrimp and try again. All right, hooking up another shrimp here. Decent cast. We'll let it drift back in there.
Yeah, we need to change the water out.
Fish, fish. Got him. Got him. Oh man, I couldn't even see the cork, guys. I was just standing up. What is that? Oh, it's a trout, speckled trout. There we go, y'all. Boom, hooked up. Way up under the bridge. I couldn't even see the cork. I was just keeping my line tight. And there we go. We're gonna wet our hands. Always good to wet your hands before you touch a trout. There we go. That right there is probably right at or right under 15. But we're gonna go ahead and pop that hook out of his mouth. He's not hooked bad at all. We're gonna get a release on him and see if we can catch some more up under the bridge. How cool is that though? Well, we got a snag up under the bridge, y'all. And unfortunately, this is like my favorite cork ever. I've had this thing for years. Oh, what a shame. Well, as y'all can tell, we're in the car right now. We're actually heading home. We're gonna go ahead and call it a day. It is super hot. There's no wind. We are covered in sweat, just absolutely pouring sweat right now. And the bite is dead. We free-lined the shrimp, free-lined some little menhaden, and didn't get anything but a couple little bites from some bait sealers. With that being said, I do have a nice speckled trout in the cooler, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to fillet that out, and then we're gonna be doing a cool little recipe with it. So make sure to stay tuned for the catch and cook part of the video. I will see you back at the house. All right, let's go ahead and clean up these trout right here. We got two nice sized trout. I caught one of these keepers, and then Kevin, he caught another one as well. But he didn't feel like taking home just one fish, so he donated it to the cause, which we're always grateful for. So all we're gonna do is just do a quick fillet on them. So you're just gonna take your knife, and I've showed this 1,000 times, but if you're new here, or if you haven't seen it before, super simple. Take your knife, run it down behind the head, right behind that gill plate, and then you're just gonna turn that knife sideways and go right down the backbone. And then what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna pull this little white thing down. That is the swim bladder. That is like impossible to cut through no matter how sharp your knife is. It literally feels like gum or wax. It's just terrible. But you go over that, it's gonna make it a lot easier. And then just keep going down that backbone with that knife. Make sure you're getting over that swim bladder, you see that? Gotta move it out of the way. A lot of people like to leave their fillets connected at the tail right here. I like to just run mine and go all the way off. Beautiful. Whenever I do this other side, I don't like to go from the head down, I like to go from the tail up, because this is my bad side. So you start the tail, just run that knife up, following that backbone the same way. And there we go. That's a flayed out speckled trout right there. Didn't really miss much meat at all. And now we have two beautiful fillets. So all we gotta do is take those bones out, take that skin off, and then we're ready to cook. So now to take the skin off of the trout, all you're gonna do is just start right here at the tail, run your knife straight down, turn it sideways right above that skin, get your cut going, and then you're just gonna grab that skin, and you're just gonna pull while holding your knife there. And that's it, perfect. Do the same thing on this one, show you one more time. And as long as you have a sharp fillet knife, it's real easy to take the skin off. And then take out these rib bones right here. All you're gonna do is just run that knife sideways, right down behind them. And that right there is 2 perfectly boneless, skinless speckled trout fillets. Let's go inside and cook them up. We just threw some butter and oil in the pan. As y'all saw, I got that butter browning up right there. We got our seasoned up fish with some blackened seasoning, because all we're gonna be doing is just a quick blackened fish, and then we're gonna be serving this with some rice, some mango habanero pico, and a little sauce that I made. So let's go ahead and drop these fillets in. And the other day, I actually made a whole fried fish, which I will throw that picture up right now. There's a whole fried mangrove snapper, and I did this recipe with it, and it was absolutely amazing, and I had some left over, so I decided to show you all that right now. We're gonna sear these up about 2 or 3 minutes on each side, and then we're gonna plate them up, and it'll be time to eat. All right, our fish is good and blackened, so let's go ahead and plate it up. We just got a little bit of rice on the side. Oh no, the fish is falling apart. Oh, awful. Gonna flip that blackened fish. That's perfect. And then we're just gonna scoop out some of this pico right here. That stuff is good, it's real fresh. It's gonna pair perfect with that real heavy blackened seasoning. And then a little bit of our sauce. And now this sauce right here is kind of like a chimichurri, but I know chimichurri doesn't usually go on fish. It's usually meant for red meats or whatnot. So what I did is I took a chimichurri base and I just added in a lot of citrus and a bunch of other flavors, and it's pretty good. So if y'all want to see a full video on a whole fried fish where I go over how to make this really good mango pico, as well as this sauce right here, leave a comment down below and we'll get that done for y'all, because I do not mind making that again. It's absolutely delicious. But we're just gonna scoop some over. That's it, that's our plate. So let's let that fish cool down for a second, and then we are going to try it out for you guys and hopefully tell you how good it is, which I'm thinking it will be. We're just gonna cut into our fish, and that is perfectly cooked, perfectly white and flaky and cooked all the way through. That's gonna be good. Got that sauce on there, get some of that mango, and let's give it a bite. I'm ready. Once again, that is another winner right there. I give that a 10 out of 10. Super simple, blackened speckled trout. Gets no easier than that. And then paired with everything else on this plate, it's amazing. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. Get out there and catch you some trout. They are going crazy right now. You can catch them just about anywhere in the bay. And I don't know if y'all can hear that right now, but it is actually hailing really, really bad right now. So I'm glad I did not go fishing today. This is a surprise storm that just came out of nowhere. And yeah, they said there might be hail and tornadoes, so finger crossed everyone's okay, and I hope each and every one of y'all is okay out there. But I'm gonna end the video because it's getting really bad, and I'm thinking the power might go out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace.